Welcome back to another episode of the Diddy Knows Ball Show. I'm your host, Diddy Knows Ball. And today we got a lot of sports. We got a lot of sports on the docket, man. It's the best time of the year. You got basketball, NBA is back. You got college basketball finna come back, the exhibition games. High school basketball is going on. You got college football is in the middle of the season. You got NFL back. Say, man, we just had the WNBA final. Hey, what a time to be a sports fan. And I'm here to bring it all to you. On today's show, I have college football. I'm gonna be talking about my team, Texas, and how we did against Georgia. Also in college football, I got the 2024 quarterback class and how them dudes is actually not very good. Circle games for week 9 in college football. Then we got some college basketball. I'm giving y'all my top 10 teams and honorable mentions. And then I got an NBA topic, the Knicks from NBA opening weekend. I got a segment on the Knicks. NFL, I got the Ravens and how the Ravens and Lions have separated themselves. 5 contenders, 5 pretenders, and then my circle games for week 8 in the NFL. And then I'm gonna be wrapping it up with list of complaints. And that's what we got. So let's get into it. So Texas versus Georgia. I'm just gonna go on here, rip the band-aid off. That was absolutely embarrassing. Like watching it live, it was to the point as a Texas fan where it was like, man, do we even deserve to be in the SEC? That's how bad it felt live. It felt like the offensive line got overwhelmed. It felt like Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning were lost. It felt like, man, like it felt bad watching it live. And then I watched it again to prepare for the show, just as a non-biased observer, and I noticed some things. So Georgia beat Texas 30-15, and if you go through the stats, a lot of things was pretty even. Texas actually had the edge in first downs, 19-14. Georgia was better on third down, 6 for 17. Texas was 2 for 15. Fourth down, Georgia was 1 for 2. Texas was 1 for 5. Now total yards, 283 for Georgia, 259 for Texas. Texas had 230 passing yards. Georgia had 175. Georgia had 108 rushing yards to Texas 29. 7 penalties for Georgia, 8 penalties for Texas, 3 turnovers for Georgia, 4 turnovers for Texas. Time of possession was 30 minutes for Georgia, 29 minutes for Texas. It was kind of even. Like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was when I was watching it live. And I said all that to say this because when I went and rewatched the game, I noticed Texas O line and quarterbacks were confused more than they were dominated. And what do I mean when I say that? I got a couple notes that I wrote down for when I watched the game on the rewatch. And my first sentence was, I I don't think that the O line was getting whooped in the first quarter. Georgia had a well designed corner blitz on Ewers sack fumble. I thought on 37 near our own end zone when he got sacked, it was a clean pocket. He just didn't step up in the pocket, allowing Walker to get the sack. Kelvin Banks actually held up and slung him to the ground. It was a shoestring sack. Quinn's interception was a great play by the DB and a bad play by the wide receiver. Dogs defense looked like the Vikings out there. Great game plan with D line pressure. It was more trickery than anything. They were seeing people late on the edge. They were seeing linemen cross each other, basically in a stunt. It wasn't just guy going out against the guy where it was people like Walker. He was lined up at linebacker and he was lined up with his hand in the ground. So I say all that to say this. I just think Georgia, especially defensively, just outcoached Texas. It was just getting outcoached. Walker, he did have a great game, but it was a lot of it was more play calling. He's talented, but the play calling, the designs of the rushes, it just it just caught Texas off guard because to say that the Texas O line got whooped, it's a crazy statement, or it's just unexpected because we had the best offensive line in college football, and I still believe that. Like Kelvin Banks really held up. It just, I think a lot of it was Quinn Ewers' pocket presence. His pocket presence is not good. It was a lot of opportunities for him to step in the pocket, maneuver. I think that's what made Brady so special. His maneuverability in the pocket and his awareness. He kind of felt guys and he could step up, step to the side, just move left if he needed to, move right if he needed to. Quinn don't got that. Quinn just don't got it. Especially like when you're going up against a defense like Georgia, where they disguise a lot of things and they do a lot of different things when it comes to the D line. Because you can say what you want, your offensive line could be the greatest offensive line in the world, but if they don't know where the pressure is coming from, somebody still can get through. And that's a lot of what I saw against Georgia. Like Jake Majors, because Jake Majors, I think he's the best center in college football, and I want him on the Cowboys, so I watch him a lot. It felt like they weren't even just attacking him; they was going around him. The only person I felt like they got whooped on the Texas O line was the right tackle. He was just getting just outsped, like, and that's what Georgia had: speed rushers, kind of like the Cowboys, like with Micah Parsons. Walker was like the Micah Parsons. It's like they were forced into throwing situations, and that's when those type of rushers are at their best. So that's just something I seen. I don't think Texas O line and quarterbacks got dominated. It was more they got confused, and confused they were. Um, Another thing, Texas versus Georgia game that I noticed. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. But Quinn is still better than Arch Manning. Arch Manning just isn't. He just isn't ready, bro. Arch Manning was 3 for 6, 19 yards. He had a 14.8 quarterback rating. Granted, he only threw 6 passes. He had 4 rushes for -1 yards. He had a lost fumble. He just wasn't that great. And it felt like the moment was too big for him to. I bet if he would have came in and if he would have scored a drive, if he would have just played better than Quinn Ewers, he would have played the second half. But he didn't. He low key looked worse. During the headlights and that last sack, he just kind of, it was his fault. So I don't think Arch is ready, and it's okay. I think he'll be ready next year. I think he is more talented than Quinn Ewers. He will be better than Quinn Ewers, but I still think Quinn Ewers is our best chance this season. So I think that game was good for everybody. We kind of put the Arch Manning hype to bed and just, hey, look forward to him and look forward to him next year. Ride it out with Quinn. Speaking of quarterbacks, speaking of quarterbacks, I think the 2024 quarterback class is actually bad. Now, I have some stats for you guys in the top 5 quarterbacks in the 2024 class and what they did in week 8 of the college football season. Quinn Ewers is the number 4 rated prospect according to ESPN and Mel Kiper. And against Georgia, he was 25 for 43, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 lost fumbles, and a quarterback rating of 23.9. Now, Quinn, the thing about Quinn Ewers that I liked his arm strength. I thought he had good arm strength. I thought he had good ball placement. He was the greatest quarterback prospect to ever come out of high school. He went to South Lake Carroll, which everybody knows in Texas is a legendary program when it comes to high school football. So when he transferred from Ohio State to Texas, I was extremely excited as a Texas fan. Uh, their first year against Bryce Young when he played Alabama, I thought that was a great game. We just lost. Then the next year he followed that up and beat Jalen Milroe in Alabama, got us all the way to the playoffs. Got thoroughly outplayed by Michael Penix. Michael Penix, that was one of the greatest games I've ever seen a quarterback play in college football, especially in a playoff type game, bowl game type of thing. This year he got hurt. He played damn good against Michigan. So I was one of those that was thoroughly on the side of Quinn Ewers, and I thought he should be our quarterback over Arch Manning. But the Georgia game showed me a lot. Dude, pocket awareness is bad. I said earlier, it was times where he could have stepped up in the pocket, but he didn't. He just don't have the awareness. He's like he doesn't feel the pressure unless he sees the pressure. His spidey senses are off. That's what I see with Quinn Ewers. He already can't run, can't throw on the run. So him not having that pocket presence, I don't see him as an NFL quarterback. And I wouldn't take him in the first round. That's just me. I wouldn't take him in the second round. He's like a fourth round guy. He's like a fourth round guy. So that's just my thought on Quinn Ewers. His pocket presence is terrible. And he can't throw on the run and he can't run. So it's like it'd be hard to see him have a good NFL future. Next, Carson Beck. Carson Beck is the fifth rated prospect according to ESPN and Mel Kiper. Carson Beck versus Texas, 23 for 41, 175 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 64.4. I think Carson Beck is kind of trash, bro. He got good size, he got decent arm strength, but everybody keeps talking about no Lad McConkey, no Brock Bowers. Oh well, bro. Like I'm not trying to hear that after a certain amount of time. You look bad against Alabama in the first half. You look bad against Texas. He just looked bad this year, bro. Let's just keep it a book. Carson Beck looks terrible this year. And even in a win against Texas, he felt it sounds crazy. It felt like he had nothing to do with it. Now that last drive where he converted that he was converting fourth downs. He had that flea flicker. Like he did make plays down the stretch, but for the most part, Quinn Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck had a mid off, and Carson Beck damn near looked worse than Quinn Ewers. So yeah. Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is the third ranked quarterback according to ESPN and Mel Kiper. And against Tennessee, another mid off against Nico Emaliava. Jalen Milroe was 25 of 45, 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, quarterback rating of 65.3. Now, I like Jalen Milroe. I like his physical profile, but I don't trust him as a quarterback when it comes to would I want him on my NFL team. I don't think if the Cowboys drafted Jalen Milroe, I don't know how excited I would be. I just don't think he's I don't know. It's just something about Jalen Milroe. I don't think he's the greatest passer. He does have a great deep ball. Don't get me wrong. He does know how to scramble. He's strong, physically built, can take punishment. Uh, I do like those things about his game. Like you can run quarterback design runs with him. It's like Lamar Jackson light when it comes to Jalen Milroe. But I don't know if I trust him enough as a passer to be excited about him as an NFL quarterback prospect right now. Alabama's already lost 2 games. And I felt like he locked on to Ryan Williams a little too much. Now, this could be a question of just Alabama's overall talent around Milroe and Ryan Williams because the running backs are okay. I can't name a tight end over there. So maybe it's not a lot of weapons for Jalen Milroe, but it seems like after the first half of the Georgia game, he's been going backwards. And yeah, they lost to Vanderbilt. Now they lost to Tennessee. Now, I don't know. I don't know. Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is the number one prospect according to Mel Kiper and ESPN. And they played Arizona. He was 23 of 33, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 81.2. Now, I do think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback prospect in this draft class, but even him, he's like a middle first round pick, in my opinion. He's gonna go higher than that, but in terms of talent, because he's not the greatest runner. And then it's kind of like, you know, I like his toughness. I like his ball placement. He's accurate. I like Shedeur. I like Shedeur. I do think he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback prospect, and I do think he's worthy of a first round pick. But last year, I don't think he doesn't go over Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. Um, Is he a better prospect than Drake May? I don't think he's a better quarterback prospect. I think he's a better player than Drake May, but I don't think he's a better quarterback prospect than Drake May. I don't think he's better than Michael Penix. So he probably would have been the fifth quarterback taken last year. He would go over Bo Nix. So the first quarterback in 2024 would have been the fourth quarterback in 2023. So that's Shedeur Sanders, even though I like him. Then you got Cam Ward. I don't trust nothing about Miami and Cam Ward. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put that out there. Cam Ward versus Louisville, 21 of 32, 319 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, quarterback rating of 93.3. Great game. It was an absolute shootout. I think it was 52 to 45. But Louisville's probably lost three in a row at this point. And I don't think Miami has played not one ranked team. He's still getting credit for that great performance against Florida, who was unranked at the time, and they fired their coach. That was probably their best win. And it was a close game against Cal. Virginia Tech was questionable. So the jury's still out on Cam Ward in Miami and the little competition they playing. But he's easily the second best quarterback because he's ranked number 2 according to ESPN and Bill Kiper. So yeah, the quarterbacks for 2024 kind of remind me of the 2011 class. Like now, the Cam Newton, I don't think the Shedeur is Cam Newton, but I think he's easily the best quarterback. And then you got a lot of Blaine Gabberts, Jake Lockers, Christian Ponders. And that's just my thoughts on that. Now, let's get into my circle games for college football week 9. You have Pitt versus Syracuse. I want to see my favorite quarterback right now in college, second favorite, because my first favorite is Kevin Jennings for SMU because he went to my alma mater, high school alma mater. Pitt versus Syracuse. I want to see Eli Holstein and Pitt versus Cal McCord in Syracuse, ACC game. And I just want Pitt to win because I'm going to the Pitt and SMU game. I do think Pitt should win, but Cal McCord has been putting up numbers in Syracuse, and Syracuse only lost one game. So I'm looking forward to that. They play Thursday, October 24th. Then on Friday, October 25th, you got Boise State and UNLV. Hey, as a Cowboys fan, Ashton Jeanty, he said he wanted to come here. He wanted to be a Cowboy. I just want to see another Ashton Jeanty game. I ain't watched him since they played Oregon. He was special. I think he ran for 192 yards against Oregon. So I'm excited to see Ashton Jeanty again, and that's on Friday. Nebraska versus Ohio State. Dylan Raiola against Ohio State. As he matures as a quarterback prospect, I know the Mahomes stuff is kind of weird, but I like Dylan Raiola and his talent level. Just like what I said about Quinn Ewers, and he doesn't know how to maneuver the pocket and he has no feel. I feel the complete opposite about Dylan Raiola. He has great pocket awareness and feel. I just think he's a young quarterback, and I feel like Indiana just kind of they hit him in the mouth. I want to see how he bounce back against an even better team in Ohio State. Texas versus Vanderbilt / Oregon versus Illinois. I got the slash right here because I'm gonna be checking in on I think Oregon and Illinois start at 2:30 and Texas versus Vanderbilt starts at 3:15. So I'm gonna be watching Oregon and Illinois for a little while. And then I'm gonna switch over to Texas versus Vanderbilt, but I'm gonna keep an eye on both those games, and they're gonna be going on at around the same time. So I want to see how Texas bounce back against Vanderbilt. If Vanderbilt is for real. Oregon versus Illinois. I like Illinois to a certain extent, and I want to see how Oregon bounces back against a great win against Ohio State, and if they can keep that same energy. Then you have LSU versus Texas A&M. I want to see how Garrett Nussmeyer plays against that Texas A&M defense, and I want to see if Texas A&M can follow that great performance against Missouri against a good LSU team, and it should be fun. And those are my circle games for college football week 9. Yeah, college basketball. College basketball right around the corner. I think the start of the season is November 4th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm recording this on Wednesday, October 23rd. So the season right around the corner. So I decided to do my top 10 teams and honorable mentions. I've seen ESPN list, and so if you agree with the ESPN list, you probably not gonna like mine. When I was making this list, I was looking more towards potential upside, proven guys coming back. I like a good blend of NBA level players on the college team with upperclassmen. I like veteran guards, and I like veteran big men, and I like NBA level wings. So that's kind of what I leaned towards when I was doing my rankings. Other people, I don't know how other people do it, but I guess I'll start off with my honorable mentions. Honorable mention number one is UConn. I don't have UConn in my top 10, and that is because I don't know. I watched the exhibition game against, I think it was URI, UNI, one of those teams. I think it was Rhode Island, though. I don't know. I don't remember who it was exactly, but I watched the UConn exhibition game. I like some things I've seen from Leah McNeely. You know, you got Alex Caravan, Aiden Mahaney. I like all those guys. I like Jaden Ross. I like pretty much everybody on UConn that they brought in either from the portal or the freshmen that they have. My thing is with UConn is I have to see it first. That exhibition game was too close in the beginning. I know they pulled away later on, but I just don't know if I can put them in my top 10. I have to see it first, even though I do think they still are a top 15, top 20 team. So UConn is an honorable mention. And I think they was like top 5 in the ESPN rankings. I couldn't do it. I just had to just keep it a buck. I could have just did put them in there, but I'm just not going to do that. Another my second honorable mention is Arkansas. They still got a lot of talent. You got DJ Wagner over there, Calipari. You got Boogie Flynn. So you got a pretty solid backcourt, and just depending on how DJ look, they got some guys. That's another team that I just got to see it. Iowa State. Now I know Iowa State is a top 5, top 10 team according to ESPN, but they don't have really a NBA player, and they got a lot of college good guys, like guys that are good in college. Well, they playing in college, so there's nothing wrong with that. But I kind of my top 10 teams, you gotta have some bona fide NBA guys on your team, bro. Even UConn, who I said I gotta see it first. I know Liam McNeely is going to the league. At least Caravan could be in the league. I know that for a fact. When I look at Iowa State, I just don't know, bro. I don't know who on their roster is going to the league. Maybe I'm just not too in tune with Iowa State, even though I like they coach and they always good and they overperform. It just I gotta see it for a top 10. No, I just couldn't do it. I do like Indronitis. In I can't say his name, but I remember I watched him in high school and he's a good freshman. My next honorable mention, Texas A&M. I like Buzz Williams going back to his Marquette days. I like the guards that they got. They got the guard from SMU. I'm blanking on his name. Um, I'm blanking on his name, but that they brought they guards back. So it's kind of I like the guards for Texas A&M. I couldn't even make on top 10 though. I just got to see it. And my last honorable mention is Auburn. They lost Aiden Holloway. I don't know if Chance Westry is over there, but I'm pretty sure they had lost him a long time ago. They still got Janai Broom, who is a preseason All American, and he's a really good college player. But this is another team where I just got to see it. I couldn't put them top 10. I think ESPN had them top 10. Those are my honorable mentions. Now let's get to my actual top 10. I'm starting at 10. I got Indiana. I think Indiana is possibly the third best roster in college basketball. And just in terms of just names, you got uh Caden Carlisle, you got Miles Rice, you got Mackenzie Mbako, you got Malik Renault. I think they brought in Umar Balo. Like that is a really good team. If they put it all together, the sky's the limit for the Indiana team. The sky's the limit for the Indiana team. I think the X factor for Indiana is going to be Mackenzie Mbako and how good he can be in his second year. Um, Woodson, I think he's a good coach. I want to see what he do with Indiana. I got them at 10 because they got some potential NBA talent. They got some college good guys. They got some good transfers, good vets. So I got Indiana at 10. Number 9, I have Baylor. Baylor is very guard heavy. That's the only reason why I don't have them higher. I do like them bringing in Norchek, Omir, but he's like 6'7". Like when you start getting it up against these bigger teams, I just got to see it. But they good enough to be top 10. VJ Edgecombe, he's a sleeper when it comes to, he could possibly go number one in the draft depending on the type of season he has. He's an elite athlete. Got him. I compare his game to like an Anthony Edwards, Dwayne Wade in terms of his physical profile and how he can impact the game. I think he's that elite level of a talent. I do want to see him in his own ball creation, both playmaking for others and himself. I want to see him more become a three-level scorer. But VJ Edgecombe's the real deal. Jeremy Roach, I like that pickup. And then they bringing guys back. So between Jeremy Roach, VJ Edgecombe, I don't know if Langston Love came back, but possibly. And Norchad O'Meara, they got a solid core. Love Scott Drew. So I got Bailey at number 9. Number 8, I got Creighton. People might kill me for having Creighton at number 8, but Ryan Kalkbrenner is like college Brook Lopez, bro. Ryan Kalkbrenner is like college Brook Lopez. That's what he reminds me of. They brought back I'm forgetting his name, the guard they had, the little guard. I can't think of his name. But they brought in Pop Isaacs from Texas Tech. They still got Mason Miller. I think he's gonna have a bigger role this year. They got an overseas guy who I just watched his tape. He played in Germany. So they got a potential to be really good. I got Creighton number 8. I trust their coach. I trust McDermott. Creighton is always good and dangerous. So I got Creighton number 8. You say it is what it is. Ashworth. That's who Ashworth. The point guard Ashworth. Between Ashworth, Isaacs, and Kalkbrenner, and depending if they international player that played with Germany can play, I think that Creighton is going to be a very good team. They might win the Big East. Number 7, I got North Carolina. North Carolina, between Elliot Cadeau at point guard, RJ Davis, you got Seth Trimble, you got Washington. It's a lot of guys I like at North Carolina. I'm not the biggest Ian Jackson fan, but if he can have a good season, they got some guys. And then, the coach, Hubert Davis. I'm blanking on everybody's names. I'm tripping. But Hubert Davis is a good coach. I trust him. His very first year, he got to the national championship, and he gonna have that team ready to go. Number 6, I got Houston. But this is a lot of stuff that is a lot of stuff got to go right for Houston to be a top 16. This is a team easily that could not be a top 10 team at the end of the year. But I trust Sampson. Terrence Arsenault, I really hope he has a big year. I think Terrence Arsenault is one of the most slept on wings in terms of NBA prospects and being good in college. He had that tough injury last year. I think Terrence Arsenault is a hell of a player, and I think he's a clutch player. Going all the way back to high school, I think Terrence Arsenault could have a breakout season. They got the point guard Uzman. I'm blanking on everybody's name, but they got the point guard from Oklahoma who could have a big game. You got LJ Cryer coming back. This still could be a really good Houston team, but they could fall off like UConn without Jamal Shead. But not fall off. UConn ain't fall off, but they could have a down season compared to being like a top 5 team. But I got Houston at 6 for now. Number 5, I got Arizona. This might shock some people, but I got Arizona. Caleb Love is a preseason All-American, and he gonna do his thing. But I think the combination of Jaden Bradley and KJ Lewis and Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant kind of give me Kevin Knox vibes sometimes, but in his exhibition game that I just seen, he looked smooth. He looked poised. He's a big wing, defensively, offensively. They just got a lot of guys. They got a front court, Waka, Creevis, Vasir. I like they coach. So I think Arizona's a top 5 team. I got them at 5. Number 4, I got Duke. Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag's the man. They brought back Tyrese Proctor, who I like Caleb Foster for year 2. They have a good backcourt. What is his name? John Noble? Yeah, he's good. Good freshman. Him and Nupel and Cooper Flag went absolutely nuclear in that exhibition game. I think they both had 20 points, if I'm not mistaken. I know Cooper Flag had about 22. So I trust John Shaw, I trust Duke. And got Duke at 4. Number 3, I got Gonzaga. I got Gonzaga, bro. I got Gonzaga at number 3. This gonna sound crazy. And I know Mark Few don't get it done in March, but in the regular season, I think Gonzaga's a top 5 team easily. I got him at 3. Ron Nembhard is probably my favorite point guard. He possibly could be the best point guard. Now Mark Sears. We'll go get to that. But I think he's a top 5 point guard in college basketball. Ryan Nembhard is very good. Nolan Hickman is very good. Graham Ike is a dog. I think Graham Ike and Ryan Nembhard, both them guys are All-American level. So, and then they back another year after a shaky start last year. They got it together towards the end of the year. That's a good team. Got Gonzaga at 3. Number 2, I got Kansas. They brought in my guy Ronald Griffin from Alabama, knockdown shooter. They brought in Zeke Mayo. They brought back Hunter Dickinson, KJ Adams. They brought back DeJuan Harris, who's one of the better point guards in all of college basketball. So they actually got more than 4 guys this year. I think Bill Self is probably the best coach in college basketball, in my opinion. So I got Kansas at number 2. ESPN had them at number 1. I can't do it. Not when you have Alabama. Oh yeah, and Hunter Dickinson is a preseason All-American. Number 1, I got Alabama. Number 1, I got Alabama, bro. This is the craziest roster in college basketball. Alabama has the craziest roster in college basketball, bar none. Easily the best roster in college basketball from 1 to 12. I watched that exhibition game. They had so many dudes, bro. And they had the toughest exhibition game against Wake Forest. Nah, bro. Alabama is the number 1 team in college basketball, dog. Mark Sears could be the best player in college basketball. He's preseason All-American. That boy jump shot is wet. Aiden Holloway jumper is wet. Now they got Nazir Cunningham, a dude who was ranked as a top 10 sophomore when he was in high school before he started going crazy, going to that OTE or whatever the hell he went to. They got him coming out. He buried on the bench as a big wing. Darian Reed, big wing. They brought in Cliff Omoruiu. I can't even say his name. But they got so many dudes, bro. Say, man, go look at that Alabama roster. If you watch any high school basketball, you'll be like, whoa, they got him here. If you keep up with college basketball, you're like, whoa, what? Bro, that roster is stacked. Alabama got the best roster in college basketball. I got them number 1. Take a look at my list. Number 1, I got Alabama. Number 2, I got Kansas. Number 3, I got Gonzaga. Number 4, I got Duke. Number 5, I got Arizona. 6, Houston. 7, North Carolina. 8, Creighton. 9, Baylor. 10, Indiana. My honorable mentions was UConn, Arkansas, Iowa State, A&M, and Auburn. Read it and wait. Hey, y'all can say what y'all want. This is my list, man. I think Alabama could be a juggernaut, bro. Let me know how y'all feel about my list. Let me know who y'all think the top 10 teams in college basketball is going into the season. But that's me. That's my list, bro. Let's talk some NBA. So NBA opening night was last night. Like I said, I'm recording this on Wednesday, October 23rd. Knicks played the Celtics, a game I was very excited for. Timberwolves played the Lakers, a game I could care less about and didn't even watch. I'm gonna be watching it later on today. One thing from the Knicks, because they got absolutely destroyed. I think it was like 109 to 132, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, it was bad. It was bad. It was as bad as it looked, but not for the reasons. Well, I guess for the reasons a lot of people think. A lot of people clown Mikal Bridges, including me, because I was never the biggest Mikal Bridges fan. But it wasn't just him, and I'm gonna get to that. The wings for the Knicks was absolutely terrible. And before I get into the numbers from the opening night game, let me just remind y'all of how these wings that did terrible got to the Knicks. OG Anunoby was traded for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly in the second round pick. OG Anunoby signed a 5-year, $212 million contract with the Knicks. That's how OG got here. You gave up RJ, you gave up Quickly, and you gave up 5 years and $212 million. That's the story of OG. Mikal Bridges, which is even nastier. He's only getting $80 million, 4 years, $80 million contract. But they traded Bojan Bogdanovic, a first in 25, a first, unprotected first in 25, unprotected first in 27, unprotected first in 29, unprotected first in 31, unprotected pick swap in 28, top 4 protected first from the Bucks in a second round pick in 25. That was for Mikal Bridges. And let's just say their opening night game against the Celtics was not good. The three wings for the New York Knicks, and when I say three wings, I'm talking about Mikal Bridges, OG, and I'm even throw Josh Hart in there. They combined for 32 points and went 2 for 13 from three. On the other hand, the Celtics wings, and that is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Sam Hauser. Those three players combined for 70 points, 15 for 27 from three. Those are the wings. And when you give up all that capital, all those trade assets to bring in OG and Mikal Bridges, you are hoping specifically for the Celtics that our wings can contain your wings on defense and do enough on offense to offset some of the wings. They didn't do none of that opening night. And I think that's the most egregious part. It was absolutely egregious. I think, what was OG? OG was 1 for 7 from three. OG was 1 for 7 from three. Mikal Bridges looked terrible in that first half. He started making some shots later on in the game, but Mikal Bridges looked terrible. And why was Mikal Bridges on Jason Tatum? I thought OG would be on Jason Tatum and Mikal Bridges would be on Jaylen Brown. It seemed like those are better matchups body type wise. It was just all messed up in my personal opinion. Like, Mikal Bridges 7 for 13, 2 for 7 from 3, 16 points. OG Anunoby had 4 points, over 4 from 3, 1 for 7 from the 3 fouls. Like, Mikal Bridges was a negative 33. OG Anunoby was a negative 21. It was bad, bro. It was bad. And you know what makes it worse? The Knicks guards showed up. The Knicks guards between Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, and Cameron Payne, 55 points combined, 6 for 11 from three. Jalen Brunson had 22 points. Deuce McBride had 22 points. Cameron Payne had 11 points. The guards for the Knicks showed up. They had 55 points and shot 6 for 11 from three. On the other end, because they outplayed the guards for Boston. It wasn't by much, but they outplayed the Boston guards. Derek White, Drew Holiday, Peyton Pritchard combined for 47 points, 11 for 26 from three. So the guards for the Knicks did their jobs. They were absolutely sold by the wings. And it just is what it is. If I told you Cameron Payne was going to have more points than OG Anunoby, what would you have said? If I told you Deuce McBride was going to have more points than Mikal Bridges, what would you have said? I'm just saying. Bro. Deuce McBride had more points than Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby combined. Let that sink in. This was a bad loss for the Knicks, just on the way they lost and how they lost. Because if I'm a Knicks fan, I want to feel good about my wings when it comes to it's some hope that they could stop the wings of the Celtics. If I woke up a Knicks fan today, I'll be like, I don't know. The Knicks are in danger of becoming the NBA's version of the Cowboys. Because it's gonna be Nick, it's gonna be our year, and then this was a terrible opening game, just from the Wings' perspective, because everybody knows you have to stop the Jays. Not only did they not stop the Jays, damn near gave up a historical night from three. They play absolutely abysmal on offense, and I'm talking about OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges specifically, and Josh Hart wasn't too great himself. But OG and Mikal Bridges, I'm not saying Knicks fans should panic, but they should most definitely be worried. But on the bright side, your bench looked way better than what you thought, and hopefully you found your backup point guard of the future in Deuce McBride, because he looked really good. Cat, got to get him more involved. Um, but those wings, OG and Mikal, y'all just have to do more, bro. That was bad. OG Anunoby had 4 points, 1 for 7 from 3. Mikal Bridges had 16 points. Looked terrible in the first half. They got outscored by Deuce McBride combined. Deuce McBride had more points than them combined, bro. That's unacceptable. I'm not saying panic, but you should be worried. And that's what I had to say about that, man. But I trust Jalen Brunson. I trust this coaching staff. Y'all got to get together, dog, over there in New York, man. Because that was almost disheartening. It's one thing to lose, but losing like that is crazy. Yeah. Let's talk some NFL. I think the Ravens and Lions on a collision course to the Super Bowl. I think they have separated themselves as the two best teams in the NFL. Definitely the two best teams in their conference. All you Vikings believers, all you Mahomes and Chiefs believers, just hear me out. And I know the Chiefs just added DeAndre Hopkins, and yeah, that's crazy. That's a good move. I would have been more excited if they would have got Cup. But just hear me out. The Baltimore Ravens, let's just go over a couple stats from the last 3 games specifically. In the last 3 games, Lamar and Derrick Henry have combined for 1,492 yards, 13 touchdowns, and that's just between the two of them. Lamar and Derrick Henry, 1,492 yards, 13 touchdowns in 3 games. Let that sink in. They've almost had 1,500 yards between 2 players in 3 games. That is absolutely ridiculous. I think the Ravens are just, as of right now, they have been the most impressive team in football. Lamar is definitely probably the front runner for MVP. I think even Derrick Henry should kind of get some consideration, but like he should definitely be in that top 10 because I had CJ Stroud being the MVP, but what Lamar's doing, what can I say? Now, the last 3 games, the Ravens have played the Bengals, the Commanders, and the Buccaneers. All 3 teams at or near the top of their divisions and had winning records when they played them. And even the game before that, they blew out the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens, I just think they're perfectly built to be a Super Bowl contender team. Their offense is crazy. Rashad Bateman had a 100-yard game. The game before that, Zay Flowers had a 100-yard game. Derrick Henry is consistently getting 100-yard games. Lamar is not turning the ball over. Let's look at some Baltimore Ravens stats. As of right now, Baltimore is number 1 in points per game, number 1 in yards per game, number 1 in yards per play, number 2 in third down conversion percentage, number 4 in fourth down conversion percentage, number 1 in red zone scoring percentage, number 1 in touchdowns per game. The Ravens are number 1 in rushing per rush yards. They're number 1 in rush yards per game, and they're number 6 in rush touchdowns per game. Man, the Ravens are for real, bro. They got the number 1 rush defense. They number 1 in opponent rush yards a game. They're giving up 68 yards rushing per game while averaging 211 rushing yards per game themselves. They passing defense ain't that great, but they don't turn the ball over. They're bottom 5 in turnovers. They're bottom 5 in penalties. Just Baltimore is a really good team, and I think they the best team in football as of now. Now, the Detroit Lions, who I think is the second best football team in the NFL right now. Let's look at the Detroit Lions. Last 3 games, Jared Goff. Jared Goff is 58 for 68 for 887 yards and 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He's 58 of 68, 887 yards. The running back duo, Sonic and Knuckles, that's David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Last 3 games, 408 yards, 7 touchdowns. So that puts Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery have combined for 1,295 yards and 14 touchdowns in 3 games, 3 players. So you kind of catch my drift. As of now, the Ravens and Lions have separated themselves, man. 2 teams and 5 players have combined for 2,787 yards and 27 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Ravens and Lions are going off. Now let's get into some of these Lions stats. Offense. The Lions are 3rd in points per game, 2nd in yards per game, 2nd in yards per play, 5th and 3rd down conversion percentage. They're 2nd in touchdowns per game. Rushing, they have a top 5 rushing attack. They got a top 5 passing attack. They are number 2 in rushing touchdowns per game, number 4 in rushing yards per game. Let's look at the passing stats. They're number 2 in completion percentage, number 1 in passing yards. They're number 3 in passing yards per game. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. They're also number 3 in turnover margin, number 5 in giveaways, number 7 in takeaways. Like, they're also a bottom 5 penalized team. Everything about the Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens screams contenders. Top 5 in takeaways, bottom 5 in giveaways and penalties. Now, both teams struggle against the pass, but both teams are top 5 against the run. Detroit is number 9 in opponents' points per game, number 4 in opponent 3rd down conversion percentage, and opponent 4th down conversion percentage, top 10 in opponent red zone scoring percentage. They're number 2 they're number 5 in opponent rush yards per game. Like, they both can. So the Lions and the Ravens can stop the run. They both can run the ball. They both can pass the ball. Both good. They both don't give away the ball. They both take away the ball. And they both don't get penalties. I think those two are the best 2 teams in football. Now, let's get to 5 contenders and 5 pretenders. Contenders. I have Ravens, Lions, Chiefs, Packers, Bills. Pretenders, I got Vikings, Texans, Commanders, Steelers, Eagles. This is my top 10 teams, but it's only really 5 that I believe in right now. The other 5, I can't get there with. I just get laid it out there for the Ravens and Lions. Chiefs are, of course, the Chiefs. Chiefs go get it done. I believe in the Chiefs. I just don't think they've been that impressive this year. And that's even Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has been very impressive. Travis Kelce, sometimes I forget he's playing. They have a lot of injuries. Like Isaiah Pacheco, that was a big injury. Rashee Rice, that's a big injury. So I still have faith in them, but as of right now, they're my 3rd contended team, right behind the Ravens and Lions. The 4th team, crazily, is the Packers. I think the Packers are a legit contender. They might be a year away. They might be too young this year, but they got everything. I watched that Houston game, and the Packers are a very good team, bro. Jordan Love, he's gonna sling that. He gonna sling the rock, bro. Now he might throw a few picks here and there, but he gonna give his receivers a chance. He gonna throw the ball downfield. I like the Packers. I like their receiving core. Josh Jacobs is a good running back. They really don't have too many holes. They cornerbacks come up and hit. Got nasty street. I really like the Packers. Bills, they added Amari Cooper and a legit number one. I love their tight ends. Pause. Uh, Josh Allen is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Jared Cook is underrated. And Shakur and Keon Coleman to go with Amari Cooper. Now you have a solid receiving core. So I got the Bills as a contender. Vikings, I think they pretender. I still got to see more. They've been very impressive. Tough loss against the Lions. They was up 10 at the start of the game. Then they just proceeded to lose. Great game by the Lions. But Vikings, I just need to see more from them. They do got jitters. Aaron Jones is a stud. Brian Flores, great defensive coordinator. Love what he's doing with that defense. But as of now, I just got them as a pretender, but I do have them as my sixth best team. 7 Texans. They can't protect CJ. Nico Collins' injury showing is ugly head. Tank Dell can't catch the ball. Stephon Diggs just scares me. I love what I seen from Joe Mixon. Worry about his health, but he's back. He had a great game against the Packers, but I don't know. They are penalized. They're top 5 in actual penalties. They're a heavy penalized team. The Texans are. So I'm not sure. I trust CJ, but a bad O line, over penalized team, injuries. A lot of people was injured on their defense. I don't know. I got them a pretender as of now, just because of the penalties in the O line. Commanders, Jaden Daniels. I love what he's been doing, but you know, I don't trust them. They still a top 10 team right as of now, but don't trust them. Same with the Steelers. Eagles, same with them. Like Steelers are TJ Watt is amazing. Like Mike Tomlin. Had a great game. He actually Russell Wilson actually got the ball to George Pickens. I thought George Pickens was busting out. Uh but he had a good game. Eagles, they beat up on the Giants. I gotta see more. But those are my contenders, pretenders. You got in the contenders category Ravens, Lions, Chiefs, Packers, Bills. Pretenders, you got Vikings, Texans, Commanders, Steelers, Eagles. But those are my top 10 teams. 5 contenders, 5 pretenders. Now, circle games for week 8 of the NFL season. You got Eagles versus Bengals. I think both of those teams are looking to right the ship and get on the right track, especially the Bengals. I think the Eagles want to keep the momentum going in the right direction, coming off a big win and a statement win. I can't call it a statement win, but a big win against the Giants. So I want to see what this matchup looks like. Eagles versus Bengals. Bills versus Seahawks. We get to really see what Josh Allen and Amari Cooper look like against a pretty solid team. Seahawks, we get to see what Seahawks are really made of. Geno Smith is a top 2 passer in the league. I think he's number 1. So I want to see him versus the Bills. I want to see Geno and how he can respond against Josh Allen, and if the Seahawks can really fight with the big dogs. My other circle game, Cowboys versus 49ers. We met in the playoffs. I'm a Cowboys fan. We met them in the playoffs. Brock Purdy got the best of Dak. I think that was 2 years ago before losing to the Packers last year. So both teams are kind of going in the wrong direction, but I want to see it. Even if it's a mid-off, I want to see Cowboys versus 49ers. Those are my circle games for week 8. Eagles versus Bengals, Bills versus Seahawks, Cowboys versus 49ers. Those are my circle games for the NFL week 8. Let me know in the comments who do y'all got in those matchups. I will pick, I think the Bengals beat the Eagles. I think the Bills beat the Seahawks. And I think the 49ers wax the Cowboys. Yeah. List of complaints. I don't have a list of complaints today. I really only have one complaint. And in honor of the NBA coming back, I would like to complain once again about the NBA national TV schedule. Now, I do own League Pass, but it's just something that grinds my gears when ESPN and TNT have a bad lineup. Like it's gonna be like 2 or 3. Man, I'm just gonna show y'all the Lakers schedule. I'm gonna show y'all the Lakers schedule. Y'all look at this. Look at this. Uh, look at this. We got. I'm gonna go over it, but I just I can't do it, bro. I can't do it no longer. Today, like I said, I'm recording this October 23rd on Wednesday. You have Bucks versus Sixers. You know who's not playing today? Middleton, Paul George, Joel Embiid. You know the other games that are on Wednesday? You have the Heat versus the Magic. I think that just would have been a way better game, bro. I get why you do Bucks versus 76ers because you got Dame, Giannis, you got Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey. But let's just keep it a buck. A lot of these dudes don't play. And that's my problem with the national TV schedule. They prioritizing older stars who don't play. These dudes don't play, bro. They don't play. And at what point are we just gonna start saying, hey, regular season at least, let's lean into the young guys, man. You know who else played today? Rockets and the Hornets. I'd rather see LaMelo versus the Rockets, man. I'm just saying, bro, because we finna get the Bucks and we finna get the 76ers, but they don't have their stars. They don't have their stars, man. And it's not cool, bro. I'm sick of the national TV schedule, and let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. Now, first we got Milwaukee and 76ers. That's tonight, and then later on at 9 we got the Suns and Clippers. Who want to see that? Friday, Pacers versus Knicks. After what the Knicks did, I don't know how excited I am for that game. And then at 9, of course, Suns versus the Lakers. Yes, yay. We get to see KD and LeBron, both damn near 40. Yay. Then we get Celtics versus Pacers. I ain't gonna stun, I like that. But then it's like you trying to force win beyond us when San Antonio is gonna suck. We get the Thunder, which is cool. I like that. But they're going to suck. They're going to suck, bro. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Like, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about, bro. And it's just October. They starting the year off terrible. Now let's go to November. What do we got for November? Orlando versus Cleveland. There we go. I like that. Nuggets versus Timberwolves. I guess that's fine. But then come on, bro. Look at this. Look at this. I get why you do. Look, okay. Warriors versus Celtics. That's cool. Not. Warriors are gonna suck, bro. I get you want like Kirk. It's just okay. I get it, I guess, but whatever, bro. 76ers. Embiid probably not gonna play that game. Paul George probably not gonna play against the Clippers. The Clippers are gonna suck this year, bro. Like, come on, bro. Then Friday, you got Philly and Lakers. Like, I don't want to see it. Wednesday, you got Pelicans Thunder. I guess that's cool if Zion and them playing. And then you got fucking Lakers again, Lakers and Grizzlies. Then you got Lakers Spurs. Like, this is just ridiculous, bro. Bulls Bucks. Like, look at this shit, man. Knicks Suns. That's all right. Pacers Bucks. Like, come on, bro. Knicks versus Mavericks. That's cool. Thunder Wars. You giving us all the Thunder games where they probably should be blowing these teams out by now. Clippers Wolves. Like, look. Thunder Lakers. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Look at that. Like the NBA's national TV schedule is terrible, especially ESPN. Especially ESPN, bro. Now I ain't gonna stunt. I'm gonna give him a second chance. I'm gonna give him a second chance. I'm gonna give him a second chance. Let me try. Let me see what TNT schedule look like. Let me see what TNT schedule look like. Um, let me see what TNT schedule look like, bro. Let me see what the TNT schedule look like. So I ain't gonna just judge it off the ESPN schedule. Let me see what the TNT schedule look like. We already seen Knicks, Celtics, Timberwolves, Lakers. Oh, we getting Spurs Mavericks on Thursday. So we getting Spurs and like we getting whatever. Thunder Nuggets. So didn't we already? I thought I already seen Thunder Nuggets somewhere else. So we getting Thunder Nuggets on TNT, then we get them on ESPN. Pelicans Warriors on TNT. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness, bro. Like, this is just annoying. Knicks 76ers. What are y'all doing? Okay. Knicks 76ers. Mavericks Warriors. Cleveland, Boston. That's cool. And then we get Thunder, Spurs. Didn't I just see that? Bucks, Heat, Lakers, Suns. Wait, hold on. Are they doubling up Lakers, Suns? Hold on. Okay, because this say November 26th, Lakers, Suns. Are they doubling up these games? Wait, hold on. Let me go to October and let me go back to ESPN. Hold on. Yes, they done doubled us up because we getting Suns, Lakers on October 25th on Friday. And then we're getting Suns, Lakers on November 20th. I'm done, bro. See shit I'm talking about, bro. I'm done, bro. I'm done. The NBA national TV schedule is cooked. I'm done, bro. That shit is crazy. They're doubling up on Lakers versus Suns, man. Nobody want to see this shit. This is why I don't watch. Like, who's paying for this shit? Who's paying? Like, who's watching the national tip? Nah, League Pass. They trying to force us into League Pass. That's terrible, bro. But this been another episode of the D Knows Ball Show. That's my list of complaints. I don't even want to talk about it no more. It's just that's bad. That's worse than what I thought. The national TV schedule is cooked. But this is your boy D Knows Ball. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow me all on my socials. It's gonna be at the end of the video in the end screen. That's bad, bro. I'm gone, man.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.